Cameras are an everyday part of modern life, and no longer are they bulky and obvious pieces of professional equipment. Now they are in our pockets, on our street corners, and even in our glasses and watches. Of course, cameras are useful for recording crimes and can be crucial evidence in catching perpetrators. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at a few such instances as we examine 3 cases where criminals didn't realize they were being filmed. Levi Aaron. 8-year-old Yehuda Klutzy was last seen on the afternoon of Monday, July 11, 2011. He vanished while walking home from school in Brooklyn, New York. Though he normally took the school bus, on this particular day, Klutzy begged to be allowed to walk home, and his parents relented. His mother waited for him at a specific point on the route, just a few blocks from his school, but unfortunately, despite Klutzy having practiced the route home with his parents on several occasions, he took a wrong turn and became lost, ultimately heading in the opposite direction from his home. He was reported missing at 6:14 p.m. when his parents contacted the Brooklyn South Schonbrunn Volunteer Civilian Patrol. The patrol began searching for the 8-year-olds, checking out local shops and the homes of friends and relatives in case he had simply wandered off somewhere and failed to tell his parents. But by 8:30 p.m., no trace of him was found, and the patrol called the NYPD, who subsequently began their own hunt for the missing boy, utilizing canine units, mounted police, and helicopters. In the following hours, volunteers were roped in to aid in the search, and 5,000 Orthodox Jewish volunteers began to look, block by block, for the missing boy. An initial reward of $5,000 was offered for a safe return, and members of the community soon upped this to $100,000. Little came of the search carried out immediately following the disappearance. In fact, it wasn't until a community member named Jacob German and his son began combing through CCTV footage from the area that a break in the case came. The surveillance footage revealed that on the afternoon of July 11th, Klutzy got lost after taking a wrong turn. It showed him walking along 44th Street and eventually 18th Avenue, where he spoke to a man who afterwards crossed the street and entered a dentist's office. When the man came out, he and the boy walked over to his vehicle and entered it. Yaakov immediately showed the police this evidence, and they tracked down the man who'd been in the dentist's office to settle his bill. The suspect's name was Levi Aaron. At around 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning, less than 2 days after the disappearance, the police confronted Aaron at his apartment in Kensington. When asked where the boy was, Aaron gestured in the direction of the kitchen. Inside the room was a scene straight out of a horror movie. Blood-stained towels and blood-soaked knives were littered across the countertops, and inside the freezer were the missing child's severed feet. The rest of his remains, Aaron told investigators, would be located in a red suitcase he'd thrown into a dumpster on 20th Street. He was subsequently taken into custody. Aaron wrote a 450-word statement in which he confessed to the murder. He explained that Klutzy had asked him for directions, and so he'd offered the 8-year-old a lift. Not knowing any better, the child accepted and asked to be dropped off at his favorite bookstore. Bizarrely, Aaron then suggested they drive to a wedding in Monsey, Rockland County, New York. The pair returned at around 11:20 p.m., and while Aaron stated that he was going to take the boy home the next day, he panicked when he saw the missing posters. He subsequently murdered the 8-year-old by smothering him with a towel in his apartment. Afterwards, he dismembered the body, stuffed it into bags, put the bags in a suitcase, and tossed the case into a dumpster. It's unclear why his feet were kept in Aaron's freezer. CCTV footage confirmed that Aaron had attended a wedding in Rockland County, though Klutzy was never seen on camera. He was seen briefly at 8:15 p.m. when Aaron stopped at a parkway for petrol. Aaron is a rather bizarre perpetrator. He had no previous arrest record, and the most he had been served with was an order of protection in 2007. He was twice divorced and described as quiet and socially awkward. He was given a psychiatric evaluation before his trial, which saw him given the diagnosis of adjustment disorder. He was described as being confused and apathetic, with a, quote, practically blank personality. He was also seen to be reserved and sad, but cooperative. He was further diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder. He reportedly suffered a head injury as a child, which possibly led to his extreme shyness and other behaviors. When asked why he took the boy, he simply explained, "He looked familiar. I thought I knew him." He also never referred to Yehuda Klutza by name and referred to the murder as the incident. Before the case went to trial in August 2012, pled guilty to one charge of second-degree kidnapping and one charge of second-degree murder. This was part of a plea bargain the prosecution had worked out with his defense lawyers and involved Aaron admitting his guilt to the judge. The Klutzy family supported the plea bargain, noting that they didn't want to relive the murder in court. Later that month, Aaron was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. He will be eligible for parole in 2051, though the prosecution do not believe he will ever be released. And there you have the facts. Please leave a comment with your own thoughts and reactions, and remember to like this video and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching. Stay alert, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.